Good morning. This is what we do every day. We wreck as much stuff as possible, and then we look at it again and figure out how we could wreck it again.
Let's do this. We're about to drive really, really, really fast.
That is good! Action. When DreamWorks approached me about making the film, and when I read the screenplay, I just said to them, if you're interested in making a real authentic car movie, I'm hopefully your guy. This is awesome. This is once in a lifetime.
Scott wanted to do a car film for car junkies. He wanted to make it just a raw, gritty, honest film.
We had this meeting with Steven Spielberg, and, you know, Scott looked at Steven and said, we're going to do this in camera. These events in the movie are going to be real. And Steven kind of broke into a big smile.
I think the audience knows the difference between CG and a real stunt.
When we sat down in that meeting, you know, prior to me even coming aboard, we just really jived on the old school movies and the in-camera approach.
Scott was able to talk about it from exactly the same place Steven was, and it made me very happy because writing the movie, I thought, I hope they can do all these action shots, you know, with actual cars.
There's such authenticity in the way Scott mounted Need for Speed.
It's called Need for Speed. We need to have real speed, real action.
Where's the rest of it? We got a lot of work to do.
There's an amazing variety of cars on this movie, just like there is in the game, ranging from muscle cars to the highest hyper supercar that you can buy.
A multi-million-dollar car, you don't really want to scratch the paint. So we create replicas that cost substantially less and also meet the performance requirements and the needs of production so that they can shoot more easily around the cars.
I mean, they were like brand new cars with the old school body on them.
All of the cars are outfitted with LS3 motors that are 490 horsepower with 490 foot-pounds of torque, special custom-built transaxle transmissions which will drive the cars at 100 miles an hour or more.
They were little race cars that we could rig to and put the cameras in spots that could really travel at those speeds. But we also needed to come up with camera cars that could keep up with these supercars.
Problem is, there's one dude, it's super light, and that's why they can fly out there.
Most insert cars can basically do about 100. And the arm cars are not supposed to go above, like, I think it's 80 or 90 miles an hour. It's as far as an Russian arm car is supposed to go. And so I said, we got to go way faster than that. So we converted a Mustang to be a really high-speed car. We could really haul ass and chase them.
We can build you a side saddle seat. I'll talk to Lance, where you can sit passenger, so he can be profiled like that, and then he can whip pan out the thing and whip pan down, and you know what I mean?
Scotty wanted to put the audience inside the race car. So we wanted to have the camera feel that as well.
There you go, it's in focus.
They want to see some vibration, but not totally still, and we're certainly not putting the cars on a process trailer and just towing them around and making it look fast. It's going to be fast.
So the rigs had to be incredibly stable because any loosey-goosiness would create this rolling shutter anomaly.
At top speed?
Yeah, they're even. This is 130 top.
Steve Holiday was my driver, and he's a race car driver, and I was just laughing because there was times we were on 3 wheels. I was inside going, bro, we're on 3 wheels right now. You know that, right? And it's like, "Rrr." He's like, I got it. And I was like, oh, God, dude.
It's 2:34, according to this.
That was some driving, son.
Before we started shooting, they wanted me to go through this crash course and just to learn how to do drifts and slides and reverse 180s and even 360s.
You know, the more time you get in these cars on the track, the more confident you feel when it comes to filming.
We brought Darren and Dominic out and just kind of put them through the paces and just taught them how to handle a car in slippery situations in dirt and gravel.
I've never seen so much talent come out of one person in such a short period of time.
That's it.
Getting behind the wheel and looking down at the speedometer and realizing that I'm going 120, 125 miles an hour, weaving through traffic, and they're allowing me to do that is a dream come true.
I'm happy I didn't hit the cones. I would have felt bad if I hit the cones, because the cones represent a cameraman, and so you never want to hit a cameraman.
It enabled us to do coverage that you don't see. Coverage that's usually replaced by a stuntman or face replacement or all these things that are left to the CGI world.
I'm having to pretend that I'm not in any fear.
I'll never forget the shot down in Columbus. Aaron Paul comes up over the rise of that bridge.
What I had to do was I had to fly at the camera and slam on the emergency brake and slide and almost do a full 180, but I had to stop at the cone where the camera was, just inches from it.
Money.
There's the car, this big, ripping up, sliding up into a full-blown close-up.
The shot was insane.
Are they some kind of Ferrari?
Koenigsegg Agera R. Top speed, 270 miles an hour. The Koenigsegg race, that was one of the most challenging, complicated stunts there was.
Everybody said, let's just do it in CG, and I was just adamant. I said, no, we can do this. Lance and I got to put our heads together to figure it out, how to do it.
Scotty made it very clear, you know, up in the air, flipping backwards, just, you know, whirling about and a car underneath it driving. So you start from that and you work your way backward.
We kind of had to go to the theory of, all right, this we have to do in pieces. There's just no way physically we can just do all of this in one shot. It was just too intricate. So I throw this idea to Scott. If we have a car and we put it sideways and we build some push arms on the front of this that can hinge and articulate.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we build basically these two pipe ramps off to the side that are just wider than the car that's pushing our crash car. In theory, this thing's gonna go up it sideways, it's gonna fly through the air, the car's gonna drive underneath it, and it's gonna stall while it's in the air, we're gonna be accelerating away, it's gonna land behind us.
It's designed to have these arms that detach. When you get to the top of the ramp, they'll rip away.
And then, you know, that car would fly, land, then we had to cut to another rig where we then set the car there. It explodes as it tumbles. Then we cut to another shot where then we light it on fire and we fling it over the side of the bridge and land it down at the side of the bridge.
Nobody's done this yet, so we're trying to be the first to knock it out like this.
I'm around stunt driving a lot, but to see the size and scale of the stunts that we're doing on this film and just the chaos, it's pretty mind-boggling for me to see.
Oh, that is good!
Something that I would always say on set, don't replicate, reinvent, so it's new and it feels fresh.
It's breathtaking because it's real. You see the dust come off the edge of the track, and it's exhilarating to see it really unfold on the camera.
We're doing some pretty crazy things, but it's actually happening rather than pretending like it's happening.
When you see the cameras and the way we move it and the way the characters' arcs are, it's definitely it's this reinvented the car culture film.
The best education is being on set with your father.
I knew they were going to be stunned then, so I wanted to teach them right.
I just grew up with the Gilberts my whole life, and we were always like brothers.
I'm gonna go chill with Pops for 10 minutes.
This whole movie is one big family.
Brother Troy, love you. Have a beautiful ride.
Our family has been a real close-knit, lovable, godly family. We're always looking out for each other.
My father, who was the original Spider-Man, his best friend was Mickey Gilbert, who doubled Lee Majors in The Fall Guy.
They both came from different aspects of skill sets. You know, my dad came more from a cowboy side, Freddie more from the circus.
My wife's dad, his name was Joe Irigoyen. And he was probably one of the best stuntmen in the picture business, but he was a horse guy. The guy was a master. He was the biggest guy in the business. And when I married his daughter, he got me in the business.
Mickey had 3 sons, my father had 2 sons, and we all grew up together.
We were all the same age, and they definitely were like brothers, and they still are, of course.
I remember just being a little kid, probably Scotty was still in diapers, and they had a trapeze set up in their backyard. We would play on it and swing and then drop and fall, and you know, so you just learn a lot of skills just by emulating what our fathers did.
I'd take them out and we'd roll cars out in the desert. I mean, I had them doing everything because I knew as they grew up, sooner or later, hey, Dad, I want to be a stuntman like you. You know what I'm saying?
As kids, we really didn't know what we had. We realized it later that we were just very, very fortunate and blessed to be playful boys with all this equipment around us.
But I never thought I was going to be a stuntman. I never even thought about what I was going to do for a living, just because, I think because we were so immersed in it that you become unaware. I think a dolphin doesn't know that it's swimming. It just is, you know?
I'm just going to add some weights and see the difference. Yeah, just 2 pounds and 5 pounds. You know, to be taught by the Grand Master, we nicknamed Mickey the Grand Master years ago. And he always taught us about, you know, preparation is the main product of a good service.
Now it's awesome because Cody, my nephew, brother Troy's son, he's getting into the industry and he's out training and doing his thing.
It's a cool business because we can work with each other, you know, and travel the world with each other. So it's pretty neat, super cool opportunity that we have.
Cody's really going to go for it. He definitely, I think, wants his 8x10 on the garage wall next to Grandpa.
Our family, you know, Lance can be running a show and he'll have his bros there. You know, or Troy's running a show, first place he goes is to his brothers, which is really neat, you know? It's love. And of course, you know, it's loyalty, but yet they have the experience to do what they're gonna do.
I would rather you guys be ready while they're hot and it's all in their brain.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to rehearse again if we do that.
Exactly.
When I was getting ready to do this film, I personally couldn't think of a better coordinator, even though he's one of my best friends, than Lance Gilbert. We are truly like 2 brothers. We fight, we bicker, and we hug each other, love each other.
I'm just saying, I want you to...
Those are expensive. Those are $900.
Now let me punch it here. It's going to punch, but it's
Don't hurt the radio.
He speaks my language, and like me, he wants to try and figure out how to do everything for real.
With this grasshopper jump, that was, you know, that was a very key element to success.
What's a grasshopper?
You may want to close your eyes for this. I always wanted to jump a car, but I just wanted to do it practically.
My father and Freddie Waugh did a jump very similar as far as distance.
I was doing this show, winning season for Joe Rubin, director. And I talked him into jumping a car through a drive-in movie.
Mickey was going to do this big car jump through a drive-in movie theater screen. And he called my dad, I think it was the night before, and he said, "Hey, Wah, I need you to do the jump with me tomorrow."
So I take him out to the location. I said, well, here it is. We're going to play chicken. We're going to throw out of control.
My dad's like going, "Why? It was freaking, it's in a car, and you can put a dummy in there. You don't need to put another person up in the car."
And I said, because I don't want to be by myself.
Because I'm afraid, man. Yeah, I need my buddy next to me.
Because I'm too scared to do it by myself.
So they kind of jumped in together and went for it. And yeah, and it was beautiful.
As a family, You scratch my back, I scratch your back. But I mean, we all loved each other so much anyway. It didn't matter. You know they're going to go if they can handle the job.
When I was talking to Lance, I said, hey, it has to be Troy.
Don't have Troy boy jumping for me.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Troy only knows one word. You know, it's big. And he's just an incredibly talented stuntman.
My confidence comes from my faith. I know that when I have a goal in mind, that I'll reach that goal. And over the last 30 years, I've always been able to reach those goals. So you get this inside confidence, this inside faith.
Yeah, there's nothing like jumping in a car and making it look perfect, you know, because we're pros, we're not amateurs. Right here.
That's right, Jake.
Right there.
To have him here today, helping me set up, this is where I learned all this stuff. So as soon as I land, I can be barking up, control my engine weight, get my rear weight here, aim right for that hole, and get out of here.
Knowing that Troy and my father were going to be there, and they both together have, you know, jumped from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles in distance over the course of their career. I know they got this.
Line up with my ramp. I know you want to do it. It's my turn, boy.
I want to do it.
It's my turn, boy.
The only thing about being a father to all my stunt kids that are running shows now, like I used to do, they'll call me to work, which is great, but they won't give me any gigs. Just let me crash something. Let me bump, let me slide one, dude. Well, they don't want to hurt me. And I know what's going through their minds, you know. Keep him safe, he's an old fart, you know.
Are you out of your mind?
You're out of your mind for doing this.
Wow, yeah, it's me, everybody. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
We always pray. We always say grace when we're together. And it's kind of hard to describe. We're just naturally just real close.
Before I do any big gag, I say in Our Father. And then, because I'm landing next to a church, when I land and pull it off, then I say, thank you, Father. Let's go.
Here we go. Everybody, listen to Jeff's kids and brother Troy, let her have a beautiful ride. Come ahead, come ahead, come ahead. Coming ahead now.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, okay.
That was good. You just nailed the box.
I know. Well, I guess I'll make the trailer. Yeah, when I first got in Stunts Unlimited, all the fellas, all the elders were all, you know, hey, you got to go big or you got to go home. I said, well, I'm a Gilbert. Gilberts go big or we don't even get invited back.
My father passed away in December of 2012. And then when we filmed in April of 2013, I asked Troy if he would say a prayer and bless the movie.
Scotty knew what he wanted, and we weren't doing any CGI, we weren't doing any computer work, so we were gonna do some high-speed wrecks. And so Scotty just wanted to be covered.
During the prayer, he paid respects and homage to his dad and my dad, and what they did and were able to accomplish in their careers. And it's because of them where we are today.
It was such a special moment because just the history of our families between Freddie, Scotty's father, and Mickey, my dad, and the years of experience that they've worked together and that they've shared with us as kids. And then to be able to have my father and my family be on the project and work on it all at the same time was just so special.
We were all in the bar one of the last nights we were there, and Mickey, my uncle, You know, he came up to me and says, God, your dad would have been great to have here. And I said, you know, it would have been awesome to have the clan back together. But it made me laugh and warm all day watching the three Gilbert brothers and their dad sitting on set and driving cars and playing parts. It was fantastic.
It's so funny, you know, I always kissed my kids on the lips. And we're on one show, and we all get there, and then here comes Troy and Tim and Lance. Hey, bros, hey, bro, what are you doing? And they all run over, and we all kiss each other. And one of the stunt guys later on came up to me, he says, how come you kiss your boys? You kiss them on the lips. Well, I love my boys. Well, why wouldn't I? What's the difference if they're a guy or a girl? Well, I don't know. He said, I got a little boy. Well, how old is he? He's 2. I said, hey, best you start kissing him. And it's different on the lips than it is the cheek. Let me tell you something. It's a whole different deal. There's a little more bonding there when you do that. He says, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. I said, do it. You'll see a big difference, you know? And of course, I told the kids what this guy said, you know, and they kiss each other. You know, they're always doing that. It's just brotherly love, and they've just been that way.
The pros and cons of making movies is you develop a wonderful family away from your family. And everybody is like, you band together to overcome adversities every day. You just spend an exorbitant amount of time together, and you get to know maybe a little bit more than you should about each other. And it's really a traveling circus because we had to pick up the tent and move all over the United States. And there were moments that happened right in front of us, but we were unaware of because the moment can only be captured by still photography. And Melinda Sue Gordon did stills for us, and between her work and some video, you'll get a sense not so much of what we did, but rather what it feels like to be in the circus. We started shooting April 2nd, 2013 in Mendocino for about 2 weeks. To go from the hills through the great redwood forest to the razorback edge cliff lines of Mendocino and the danger level of traveling at those speeds at that kind of environment, it's the ultimate race course. All right, now I know this looks like a bunch of old men playing with kids' toys, but this is actually how we figure out how we're gonna do our car gags. These cars have a myriad of uses for Lance Gilbert, who was our stunt coordinator. And here's all of our wonderful stunt drivers: Rich Rutherford, Tanner Faust, Reese Millen, Tony Brachiohopa, Paul Dallenbach, and Brent Fletcher. They were the 6 guys that did pretty much all of our supercar driving. So when you're running a circus, you need a really tall man when you're a really short director. So I had David Sardi become the ringmaster of our circus. He was my first assistant director. And when you have the Jolly Green Giant, you need to have somebody else to handle the animals. And of course, that's Shane Hurlbutt, our director of photography. He really had more energy than a can of Red Bull. It was incredible. After a couple of weeks in Mendocino County, we drove down the coast to San Francisco. We really wanted to pay our respects to some of the greatest car movies of all time, and for us, Bullitt is definitely one of them. And as you can see right here on Nob Hill, we definitely decided that what a better place to wreck the Mustang than where Steve McQueen jumped his Mustang down the hills. San Francisco truly is probably one of the most photogenic backdrops you could ever have for any type of car sequence. After a few days, we got on a plane and flew from the West Coast to the South. Macon, Georgia. That's where we started shooting the entire Mustang driving across the country sequence. It was where we really got our feet wet with putting all of our cameramen somehow completely around the high-speed camera platform. I think they all got their e-ticket ride at Disneyland here in Macon. Then at night, Macon was absolutely photogenic, and we wanted to use it to double for Mount Kisco and the opening car race with all the muscle cars.
It is so hot in this car. Is it? So hot. Georgia.
Atlanta in the summer's not really ideal for cars without air conditioning. Yes, but it was really great making sure that both of our lead actors wore leather jackets on top of it. Road Atlanta. Please tell me you guys recognize this track.
Do it. You're in the right seat. You're so excited. We're looking for Air Bear Fangs. Fangs, Air Bear 94, clear.
Yeah, bear in the air, fangs.
Bear in the air, fangs. Fangs, safe and sound, beauty.
Jelly donut, jelly donut.
Ramon and Rami are probably the two funniest and quietest guys on our set. Jody Miller, our Steadicam operator who somehow maintained superhero status on the film. And Chris Mosley, our high-speed camera car action camera operator, was fantastic. But working in these extreme conditions made you actually put ice on the cameras. It was so hot. Digital cameras have usually a problem with that. Oh, and by the way, you should really never point a gun at a camera. Alan Rollins and his Macon Mafia grip team. These guys were outstanding. They worked so hard in the heat. It's truly perplexing how many things you need to replicate blue sky. One of the greatest parts is when we truly actually did hang the Mustang upside down. For some reason, I don't think Imogen was really prepared for that. Imogen was such an incredible actress, and I knew she was going to be in the car with Aaron for so much of the movie, so the chemistry between the two of them was really important. I mean, you can really sense it watching the movie, but what's great is you can really see it in these photos. On our road trip, I brought my family with me, my two young boys, and somehow I inherited a third one. He's costing me more money than my two young ones now. So this is where we were in Columbus, Georgia. A couple times we just got pounded with rain. It was like being in India. Somehow the weather report didn't come in that day to let us know it was gonna just rain cats and dogs on us. We shot the gag of Little Pete's crashing on the 13th Street Bridge between Columbus and Phoenix City, Alabama. We just thought of a cooler way to fly across the bridge. When we got to Blue Ridge, Georgia, we were about to wrap some of the actors on the move, and we thought, what a better way than to pretend it was Dominic Cooper's 40th birthday. Or Harrison Gilbertson's 15th birthday. Or Dakota's sweet 16th birthday. I'll let you guess what their real ages are. There's one thing you really can't anticipate. It's called fog. But somehow we decided to just use it to our advantage. It was truly a magical night at the drive-in theater, even though it was 4 a.m. When we got to Detroit, we had this situation where Benny flies the helicopter through the streets of Detroit. The only way to really get a close-up on him was to stand outside the skids. I just said, hey, let me put a harness on, I'll stand out there and film it myself. One of the great things about Detroit is it's the car capital of the world. But visually, it's incredible. It's got so much texture and the color palette is truly incredible. We couldn't think of a better place to rip a silver Mustang through than Detroit. One of the greatest things about doing a big stunt movie is, for myself, getting back together with the old guys that I used to hang out with. Some of the greatest stuntmen in the world. It was the beginning of July, and the end was in sight as we flew to Moab, Utah. When we scouted Moab in January, it was -20. No one told me it was going to be 120 when we filmed there. It was so majestic there. It was one of the greatest places to almost end your road trip. But we had one last spot to go. You know, at the end of your road trip, you always think you've overcome all adversity, but you arrive to a place where you think is going to be white and it's a lake. Yes, Bonneville, one of the fastest places in the world for race cars. I didn't see the sign that said Salt Lake. The circus had come to an end, and we actually accomplished some amazing filming all over the United States. And while so much of the movie has to do with cars, it's still like any other movie. I mean, it comes down to one thing, acting. And I got pretty damn lucky with Aaron Paul and Imogen Poots and the rest of the cast. You know, when you're lucky enough to cast Scott Mescudi and Michael Keaton in your film, they're definitely going to do some pretty funny stuff without you even trying to egg them on. And this is some of the ad-libs they came up with.
Let's go. It's my grandma's car. I'm only going because I want to, and not because you told me to. Okay. Sorry, wait a second.
Well, if you have to ask what a cretin is, you're probably a cretin.
I don't want to be working with Dancing with the Stars anyway, but those reserve checks ain't cutting it.
You must be insane, friend.
I'm gonna circle back. I saw some chicks hanging out having a barbecue. I'll meet up with you guys later.
I can smell love and vengeance and motor oil all swirling together out there.
You make me proud. 2 fruit cups. Both of you, right here, right now, solo. Let's go.
Wait.
Let's get it. What you got? Oh my God, what are you doing?
I have no idea what's going on there, but I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Okay, whatever floats your boat.
That's what you call spunk.
I love it, Jeff. Ride that motorcycle, baby, yes. And then I'm gonna do my. I'm gonna bang, bang, bang. Give me that, give me.
Oh man, this is good. Oh, this is good, really good.
Little jailhouse dance party.
My heart just got a little softer. That kind of scares me.
Sweat, Gerald, sweat! Sweat, Gerald, sweat!
Benny, I